that you have a really strong partnership internally between your operators and your technology team. I was just wondering if you could maybe highlight how you identified the need for that partnership and how you've made it happen.
We're so lucky to have, folks who really, we're all connected by the same mission, of course. And I think that we continue to come back to that. Like, how are we making the member experience better and how are we making the employee experience better? Those are kind of like the two things that we come back to in every discussion. And our CEO has been great about saying, like, hey, as operators, it's easy to say, like, you don't need to be involved because IT should be organizing a system. But we've learned, and the expectation here is that we are all communicating so that we can poke holes, kick the tires, and make recommendations and really have a say in kind of some of the setup of our courses and our different offerings, as well, because we know what parents are calling us about that they can't find or they're having trouble with, or that our staff can't find or really would love this report XYZ. So it's been really fun. And it also is great to have, folks like Tony who have been in member services before now, having this opportunity to work on the back end of things with a little bit of that operator's mindset. So I'll pass it to, I'll just add one more thing. I just love, like, whenever Tony and our team are partnering, she's like, okay, so does that work for licensing? Right. And it's like that kind of consideration in the partnership that's so helpful.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yep, I was just gonna say, I truly do enjoy, I do have a membership background, so I do understand what it's like at the front line when those frontline staff are registering. I do understand that need, as well as the parent. My son has attended our Y program from kindergarten to 5th grade in the before and after care program. So I do get both sides of that, and I love being able to deliver great service back, knowing what both sides need, including internally as well.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And just to get into, like, between this partnership, dig in a little bit on a specific topic that I think from talking to you, and know this is important to both of you, but just around child safety and how the two of you or your teams collaborate just around child safety specifically.
This is a good chance to talk about something that we're hoping to pilot for this year with camp, just because it's fresh and top of mind as we prepare for camp registration to open. We have previously used forms and will continue to use forms to collect like our fee agreements and health forms and some of those pieces of paperwork that families definitely won't have on hand at the time of registration. And we've had a little bit of internal back and forth on, like, how long do we want to make the point of sale interaction, right? But we are really excited to be putting in some prompt questions, and the level of limitation that it will put on the parent is relatively minimal. I think it'll be pretty quick, but we will collect so much information that will be a game changer from the employee experience for our camp directors. And all the time spent on follow-up and nagging and please don't forget, we need your blah, blah, blah form. But it will also be just game changing from a risk management standpoint of having so much more information about allergies and IEPs and who we really need to follow up prior to the start of camp. And then I'll also say that, we've done a lot of work on just our reports and how we want them to look so that they're in an order that's usable for our team, especially rosters. Because if you've got, like, a clunky roster, it just not only slows down the time that the kids get to have fun and makes it hard for parents to find their kids at 5:55 when they're trying to sign out, but it also, really cuts down on that safety piece too, and the length of time for us to know who we have in our care, especially before and after school, and that transition from the academic day to us.
Yeah, and just to second that, I really do want to highlight the classroom management feature that we are able to put the children into specific classrooms, whether that's in our before and after care program or our early learning, that's group supervisor who has the children know who is directly in their care based off of an easy report that you could just run.